Family. I have the distinct pleasure of eulogizing my friend of pretty close to 50 years now. And I can say pretty good that 50-year time, I know it pretty well.
All right. All right.
I want to share something with you that I know that Leslie knew, and she considered this to be the rules of engagement for this life. And I'm going to share this, which is coming from Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
She's fought a good battle, y'all.
Right.
And she's experiencing the peace that she knew one day she would have. I want to share with you here as we celebrate the homegoing of my mother-in-law, my sister in Christ, a kingdom builder, a mother, a counselor, a grandmother, a great-grandmother,
All right.
and a listening ear to many who needed someone to share their sorrows of this world with. You have to understand, Leslie Mae, what I really liked about her, she was a no-nonsense person. I knew her in the early years, and what she said, she meant. And there was times that if she said it, she didn't buy the tongue back. It hurt some feelings, but it had to be said. Because you see, we need more people like her in this world now. Because we're living in a world where sin is being legalized by our politicians. We need more Christians to speak up and stand up for God as kingdom builders. Instead of just standing back and being complacent and going along with the flow. Leslie didn't go along with the flow. She created the flow. She didn't make God. Leslie Mae loved God. She loved family. And she loved people in general. I remember one time she came to live with me and John about a year or so, I guess. And she would sit out on the front porch whenever she could. And so one Saturday morning, I remember I was sitting out there with her, and we were drinking coffee, and my wife and I had been living there almost 30 years, and we only knew the people to the right of us and to the left of us and maybe right across the street. My mother-in-law, I sat there, and when people drove past and went around the corner, she waved like that. And then sometimes they would stop and roll the window down. He said, "How you doing?" "I'm doing fine." I would look at her, and she would just laugh. I said, "Who was that?" And she would tell me their name, where they lived around the corner, where they worked. And as we sat there, my neighbor across the street, kind of 2 houses up, he pulled out the driveway and she said, "He's late." He's late. She said, "He should have been at work by now." I said, "Do you know him?" God planted her in Seminole at an early age to serve Him. She was the pianist at the Methodist church there. Her years of service started at an early age. And they tell me, as a piano player, she didn't just play 1 or 2 keys. They say she did an arpeggio. That's the way she was. But here's the thing. She took that talent and put it to use for God in His house. She loved family. She loved family. Yeah. She was crazy about Terry, crazy about Joan, crazy about Sherry. And if anybody messed with them,
All right now.
I was frightened when I first went to Seminole. I went down one Thanksgiving from Langston, and Joan introduced me, and she just looked at me. I said to myself, oh boy. But you know what she did? You know what she did? She told Joan, came in there and get him something to eat. She didn't know me from Dick's Hat Band. Right off the bat. But that's the type of person she was.
Yes.
If she could help you, she was a go-to person in Seminole. I remember the time that a friend of hers down there, they locked him up for some little simple something. Anybody else would have been, they probably would have got a citation. But they locked him up and they refused him bond. Now I don't know quite how this worked here, but she either babysitted or cleaned the house for the governor of Oklahoma at that time. She got on the phone and called the mansion up in Oklahoma City. Within an hour time, the man called them and said, can I get a ride home? She was a leader in that community. She was strong. She was firm. She always wanted the best for all of us. Right up to the end, the thought of her grandchildren and great-grandchildren always brought a gentle smile to her face. She loved people. She was the go-to person in Seminole. In times like this, they remind us that without Christ, we are nothing.
All right.
Times like this, let us know where we are in the scheme of things.
That's right.
It's not about the house you got. It's not about the car you drive. It's not about your bank account. Because none of that is going to leave this world.
All right.
Only your spirit that is in Jesus Christ.
Yes.
That's what's important.
That's right.
That's what's important. And she knew that. And she knew that. She knew that. And without Christ, we are nothing. And one day we all will have to take the same trip as she has. It is times like this that remind us of the vanity of life. It reminds us that our true home is in heaven. It puts our minds back on the Lord. It helps us to stop for a moment and start living with an eternal purpose.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You see, sometimes Satan can blind us.
All right.
He can blind us to the truth. And he'll say, hey, come on over here, look what I got. And then when you get over there and then you rob somebody or you almost OD and you land in jail or hospital or something like that and see his job is done then, and then he will flee you. And then you laying there saying, what have I done?
All right.
He's destroyed your life.
All right.
And he's smiling, and he's gone on to the next one right now. Sadly, most people forget this is a matter of only a few days that we walk here, y'all.
All right.
Some people make it to her age. Some people don't. And I imagine if you would search your hearts, and you know people over the years that didn't get as far as you got.
All right.
Our young people are a mess now. In Nashville, all the crime that's being committed there is from 20 years old and down. 80% of the crime. The fathers are present in the home, but they're still absent.
All right.
Most people forget this is a matter of a few days. We should pray for an awakening in our soul and a renewal of our minds that our life changes and we are aligned to the will of God. Christ is everything. Our life is all about Christ. Leslie was fully aware of that.
Yes.
God saw that she was getting tired. And her earthly housing was worn from the pains of this life. And then one thing happened miraculously on November the 1st.
All right.
God came down. As if with all the sentiment and passion of a Robert Frost poem. He came down and he whispered to her, Leslie, you're tired. You're tired. Close your eyes. Now come to take your spirit back with me.
All right. All right.
And she closed her eyes, and he gently lifted her spirit up out of her and went on back to glory. And she went to receive the mansion that we all want to see one day. So as they stood there in front of that mansion, you know, he said, now open your eyes, Leslie. And she opened her eyes. And you know what she might have seen? I'm going to share this with y'all. I'm going to sit down. When John wrote in Revelations about a street paved with gold, I do not doubt his words. He simply reported what he saw. Thus his words are literally true.
Yeah.
They are also meant to tell us that the things we value so highly in this life will be used to just to pave roads in heaven. A city built by God. Well, let's see what she might have seen. What she might have seen. She might have seen no pollution. But the skies would always be crystal clear. No crime or violence for no criminals would ever enter. No greedy politicians, no drug pushers, no child molesters, no potholes and no power outages either. It would be filled with an abundance of parks and rivers and rolling meadows and flowing streams. Lining the streets would be flowers in constant bloom, fruit trees of every kind, every species of plant life growing free from pestilence and disease. The gates would be made of pearl.
All right.
My Lord.
The walls of jasper, the streets of gold. Precious stones would lie on the ground like play toys. Emeralds, rubies, diamonds galore. On every hand, there would be children laughing, bright conversation, music flowing from every direction. In the city that God built, there are no tears, no sorrow, no regrets, no remorse. Bitterness gone forever. Failure left far behind. Suffering redeemed and rewarded. There are no eyeglasses, no braces, no wheelchairs, no false teeth, no hearing aids, and no crutches. There are no hospitals, nursing homes, paramedics, CPR, doctors are employed, no aspirin, cancer disappears, heart attacks vanish. In heaven, no one grows old and feeble. There's one thing you won't find in heaven, and that is cemeteries.
All right.
There are no funerals, for in the glass city, no one ever died. Let's look into all this. But you know what she did? She persevered to the end. This is what we all have to do. It doesn't matter what comes on your life. It doesn't matter how much pain you might feel. It doesn't matter how many bills you owe. We have to persevere and not let our faith be shaken. Leslie knew that. Her faith was not shaken. Right to the end. Can you search your spirit today and say, yes, I'm strong enough to handle the winds of this world? If you can't say that, then you still got a lot of work to do. And persevering through the hard times is the only way that you're going to see heaven.
Bless you.
The only way.
Bless you.
I say to this family,
God bless you.
I say to my friend here, well done. This is the order of the day. This is what everybody in here wants to hear. They want to hear, well done, thy good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. Come up on high, and I'll make you rule over me. God bless you. God keep you. May the Lord lift his face to shine upon you. And one day, he will show you that unimaginable peace.